are you today?
I'm very good, Janina. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining us this morning. And this is Lifestyle Toronto, where we talk to entrepreneurs and business owners and people in the community, and we talk about real estate, with business, and a lot of fun things that go on in the community. Anyway, I would like to introduce Ray today, who is an entrepreneur, realtor, and he is a top 30 under 30. And he brings a lot of wealth of experience and a lot of interesting viewpoints on the market today and in general for entrepreneurs. So, Ray, I would just like to welcome you once again. It's good to see you, and thank you for joining me. And I'd just like to say, Ray, you have a very interesting background. And I wonder if you could just say a few words about how that background has influenced you and your business and how you approach your business.
Yeah, good question, and it's a big question, and perhaps we can look into certain specific things as we go along. But the background that you had asked is very family oriented, and I was born in Middle East, Afghanistan, and my father raised me that the family is number one, and you got to take care of them and provide. And had to flee Afghanistan due to war and prosecution back in the 90s. And we spent the next 10 years of our life in Russia, where we learned and experienced being abroad, and learned business and did business, and really was all about the providing great customer service to our clients, and taking care of them and really listening what they need. And there was a fierce competition missing as actually present as well. Fierce competition.
How so? How so?
Well, what we did is we brought imported goods from China and sold them in Moscow. And the
Oh,
competition was all about who can sell for lower price and still make a profit. So not only we had to keep great customer service, and we had to be very competitive with the pricing as well. And my father had run the company to a successful point. And fast forward to 2010, we immigrated to Canada. And this is the land of opportunities. And the reason we immigrated is we wanted to have a better future for the children and for our future life, where we didn't know anyone and we didn't know the language, but we knew that it's going to be a better future if we put in the work. So having the background of being family oriented, we stuck together and worked together. And having the background of working hard, which we did, and having our own business, that was the mindset, having always your own business versus working for someone else as an employee. And we implemented that mindset quickly. And the mindset of in the background of providing great customer service to the clients, which we strive to this day, and putting their interest first and really seeking what their needs are. And if their needs are opposite to our interest in the business, then we'll put their need first instead of pushing our own need. So that's generally the background. If there's anything specific, we can look into it, Janina.
well, it was just that's very interesting that you talk about clients' needs first, and that would be very relevant in real estate. So you really look at developing a relationship, and I would think just your background, putting customers first, family first, that really just expands with your customers as well, and it
Yes.
really can be so emotional. I would imagine that really translates really well to the service that you provide your clients.
Yeah, exactly. And it is not a transactional business, or any business, not transactional. It's relationship business.
Hmm.
And if we can nurture that relationship where the person on the other side, they actually not only hear from you that their interests are put first, but actually they can sense it,
Hmm.
they can feel it, and their experience left them that their interest is first instead of yours. Then ultimately, you develop a raving fan and a client for a lifetime,
Hmm.
because not only they're going to be coming back to you for repeat business, they're going to be referring all their friends and all their family, because they want their family members and their friends to receive the same service that they've received. So that is what is important, the most important for us,
Hmm.
to have our clients be number one and make a difference for them, and keep the integrity in check at all times.
Sure.
If things are not possible in terms of getting them a certain price, or finding them a certain home, or getting them a mortgage, then we'll just tell them that it's not possible. And we'd rather have them know that from the beginning, versus working with them and misleading, or hiding around the bush, and then coming up at the end of it at, oh, it's not possible, but we have another option for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is lower than their standard.
Yeah. Yeah. Better for them to know right up front and be able to, kind of assess their options and
Of
maybe put
course,
a game plan.
100%. Yes.
I would imagine that kind of viewpoint also really helps you with building a team, because you've built a very successful team and a very successful organization slash business. How do you bring that into to that?
Yes, you're absolutely right. And the same background and the mindset applies within the team as well. And we have three particular teams that we can look into. And the culture that we've built within those teams is the most important. The culture within our organization of over 115 agents, where agents help agents, and we have a group of all of us that are similar minded, and we are there to really support each other.
Hmm.
And instead of seeking taking advantage of someone, or taking their business, we're actually in the mindset of that the more we help and the more we make a difference, then, as the law of reciprocity states, then we will naturally be rewarded with the rewards afterwards. So
Hmm.
the more we put, the more we'll get, and the more we give, the more we'll get. So that is the mindset we have in the organization. And within our team, who we sell real estate and help our buyers and clients, the culture of having a family relationship, or putting the relationship first, exists. And same with the agents. If I can make sure that that agent does not need to worry about where the next paycheck is going to come from, and they have the peaceful and secure mindset that the money is good and their family is going to be good, so that way they can live the life that they want, then ultimately that agent will stay with us, and there would be no reason to leave, because we make sure that their priorities and their family and their needs are put first.
Hmm.
And of course, with our staff, the third team that I mentioned, our staff of 5, 6 people who are helping us to facilitate all our transactions, all the content, the customer service calls, and the database and the research. We want to make sure that they are felt as if they're family as well, that they're rewarded for their hard work, and that we're considerate of their life as well. It's not just them working with us, it's actually their life that they're putting on the line. It's their family members, their children, their spouses. So we are very considerate of their time and appreciate what they do for us, and we reward them generously.
Hmm. Well, it's wonderful that you include them as one of the teams, and one of
Yes.
the prongs of really, if you wish, one of the legs of that.
100%. Of course, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Would you have with all of the the experience that you have, would you have any and I guess this would be mostly for your organization or for your specific team members, or in general for new agents. Would you have any words of advice or any hacks that you would provide or you could give?
Yes, yes. I shout from the rooftop to every single agent and every day. When you're new in the business, what you really want to do is find a mentor, find a successful real estate agent in your area who you look up to and you connect. And what you really want to do is join their team and become an apprentice, become a team member, because then you can actually learn the business from inside
Mhm.
without having to spend the money or learn it to everything yourself, which can take years and years. And even if you give up the commission, that's okay, because the value that you're going to get from experience that you will have with the team, with the team leader that you're working with and shadowing them, practicing, attending the sales trainings, is going to be far beyond any money in the commission that you will split up. Yesterday, I was just talking to in the meeting with my first team leader and coach of 9 years ago when I joined the real estate. And I'm so thankful, grateful for that experience of being for 1 year on the team where I can actually shadow for someone who's been in the business over 30 years
Wow.
and hear the experience and see the experience and see what works and what doesn't work and implement it, where it actually put me on a fast track where I was able to go from 18-year-old student from high school, from university, and not really knowing anything in real estate or not knowing anyone in real estate because my peers, they were just students, or not having any money, to my first year learning and practicing and implementing and executing what my team leader would say, go from a zero to taking over 40 listings in 12 months.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yes. And that's what's available to new agents, is to go ahead and join a team, a successful team that you look up to in the area, that you think that they can actually help you. So that's my biggest advice.
Yeah.
And go do it right away.
Yeah, I concur with that actually. And actually that would also be applicable in really almost any industry. And
Of
I mean,
course.
at various trades and so forth, they all have apprenticeship programs, don't they? And this one is
100%. One of my clients, his name was David Kadosh. David Kadosh, an older gentleman who's been an architect and a builder in Toronto, and he built custom luxury homes. And he built a massive 6,000 square feet home for himself in Newtown Brook in Meadowvale area, North York. And he would say, Ray, if you want to open up your restaurant, what do you do? I said, well, you tell me what do you do, David? And David would say, you would go ahead and work for a chef and learn everything what chef does for 1 year. I said, great. So then what do you do after? And he said, you go ahead and work for another chef in a different restaurant and learn from him for 1 to 2 years. I said, that's good. So 2 chefs, then I can go ahead and open up my own restaurant. He said, no, you go ahead and work for a third chef and learn from him and their experience for 1 to 2 years. I said, 3 chefs? He said, exactly. That's minimum required for you to learn the inside and outside of the business of running a restaurant. Then you can go ahead and open your restaurant. If you do it without working for minimum of 3 chefs, 9 times out of 10, you're doomed to fail in the business. So I really took that hard and actually implemented it. And I had been a part of 2 to 3 teams. Now I can say the same things to new agents where I run my own team of you want to learn from the people who already been in the same position that you've been in.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I guess your previous team or your previous involvement was at Remax, which is a great brokerage. But
Mhm.
you took that and you moved brokerages. Why? Why? What did you see at your current brokerage that you decided you could take your team over there?
Yeah, good. And Remax is global brand. They're probably the biggest real estate brand in the world right now, which they've done a tremendous job at building their brand.
Mm-hmm.
And my 6 years of experience has been great with the company. And what I was looking for, Janina, I was looking to open up my own brokerage independently due to the fact that we were running to a problem of high agent turnover.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yes, we were running into high turnover, and also we were running into the problem of when we were building our team at the Remax, what would happen is the agents would join us and they would learn our business model in our area, and I would train them. And just like I mentioned before, learn and you go and implement yourself, which definitely works. And that's what the agents would do. They would leave the team after a year or so and go and do their own business in our own area in the backyard. So we would essentially create our own competitors in our marketplace. And the idea was to create a brokerage where I could have my own team, or we can have our agents in our brokerage. Even if they're not on the team, they're in our brokerage. Or we can still train them and grow the company and make a difference for them. And the idea was to open up our own independent brokerage until I was exposed to EXP. And when I learned about EXP, it just sounded too good to be true.
Hmm.
Really, it did, and it took me several months to wrap my head around it because it was an agent-owned company, which we were looking for. It was a full online cloud-based brokerage, which we were looking for, and there were multiple streams of income, which we were looking for. And simultaneously, it was taking away all the liability on the overhead that we would encounter running our own independent brokerage. And on top of that, we would not be bound to a geographical fence in our city when we go ahead and expand. We can really expand to as wide as our province, as wide as the whole country nationwide, or go international.
Is that right? Hmm.
Absolutely, to North America, South America, Europe, Middle East, and now even to Asia. And EXP thrives to become a global brand, which we've already been about 20 countries, and it's continuously expanding. And it is a platform where agents can grow their businesses and organizations. It is an infrastructure. It's no longer a brokerage. It's actually an infrastructure where agents own a part of it and they can grow on it. It's similar to what Amazon provided to many of the resellers. It's the infrastructure for the companies where it has the worldwide audience and the software to run it, where resellers can sell their products and make enormous amount of money.
Wow. So really a platform.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I'm very glad that you made that transition. I also have made that transition, of course, and
Congratulations.
I do understand everything that you're saying. That's amazing. So, but like I know that we've talked about how you've kind of gone into business, and you've mentioned at the very beginning that you're also very family, that family is very important, and that shows in your work, in your organization, your team. But you also, I think, particularly for anybody that has their own business, they find they get into it to have more time or more freedom, and often business takes over. But I know that that's not the case with you. You do make you have a lot of time with your family. Do you have any advice for how to balance that?
Great question. And what I would say, there's no balance.
Oh, okay. That's good to know that going right in.
Yeah, there's no balance, Janina. And anyone who wants to balance it, they're just misleading themselves. What there is just it. There's just the life that happens. There's one thing. And what do you do with it? It depends on you. And what I like to do is really look at the quality of time
Mhm,
we spend with the family, especially with the kids, with
mhm,
my daughter and the two boys,
mhm,
where I want to see them in the morning
mhm,
when I drop them to school.
mhm,
Every single time I see them in the morning, they just put a smile on my face,
mhm.
and they're full of energy, love, and ask me if I got them Pokemon cards. I'm like, we got Pokemon cards yesterday, but I'll get you more. And then the other one asks, where are the geese? Because when we drive to school, we see the geese, and we say hello to them. So experiences like that, that I get to spend with them 10, 15, 20 minutes in the morning, and it just brightens up the mood for the whole day.
Sure.
Or experiences of attending my son's game where I coach as well. I can see him really um, being excited about the game, and seeing the thrill of winning, and the sadness of losing, and
Mhm,
being able to share those emotions with him,
mhm,
and make sure that he knows that I'm there for him. Every time he does a great maneuver or a pass or a kick, he looks at me and then asks, Daddy, did I do good? How was that? And I tell him, Amir, you did excellent. And then he goes back and smiles, and feels grateful about what he did. So those little act of encouragement for him, it's an encouragement for me that I can do better as well. And generally, spending the time with the children, it provides me be a better version of myself, and provide them with the opportunities that perhaps I didn't have. So ultimately, it is a possibility for them to become someone greater than I could be. So that's what we're striving for. And the quality of time spent with the children and the family is critical to running a successful business.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, and I think you also, I do want to mention that I do believe that first of all, they energize you, and then you bring that back by giving them all the
Yes.
encouragement and energy as well. But I think you also bring that energy towards your charitable efforts. And I know that you're very much involved with helping resettle refugees. And I wonder if you have a moment or two just to mention that. And then I have one more question, and I'll let you get on with your day.
Yeah, of
so,
course.
so
We're involved in our community, and we love helping the people who are in need. We were displaced back in the 90s from the country, our own country, due to war and persecution, and we know how it is. And when someone is helping in a most dire situation where everything is on the line, where you don't know where the next meal is going to come from, or where you don't know where you're going to sleep that evening, that night, then the life and death question becomes, and the faith becomes underlined. So what we want to do, Janina, is help those people who are in the most of need. And recently, a year ago, our country fall apart, and many thousands of people run away
Mhm,
to neighboring countries. And what we are working on is being able to sponsor as many families as possible to Canada, where we can provide a second opportunity at life. And we are working closely with Immigration Canada to being able to sponsor these families, and moreover settle them once they arrive, with their housing, with their schooling, with their employment, with their transit, all paperwork, have them here and settle and adapt. So that way, one day in the future, they can do similar work to more people and ultimately expand. So that's our nonprofit organization. That's what we're working on, helping Afghans in need in the world, Janina.
Well, I think it's an amazing effort that you have there, and if anyone would like to contribute, the contact information for Ray will be available for Ray and for his organization and his charitable organization as well. I just have one last question, and it has to do again with energy. This time, energy of a different kind, but I know you had one very exciting event that, well, you like soccer, and it's evident with your son. But I know you had one very exciting event that had a lot of energy. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and we talked about it already, and it is a event that I was most looking for. This is the first time that I was able to attend a World Cup event that was held in Russia, where we lived for 10 years. So it was going back home at the tournament that I was dreaming to attend. And one of the most particular games that are standing out, it was the quarterfinals, where the host country of Russia was facing the reigning champions of the world, Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And they were absolutely had an extraordinary players and the team, where they've been winning 2 Europe championships before that and the World Cup before that. So they've been an absolute crazy run, and everybody underestimated Russia, of course, and they would think that they would just blow out and lose big time. And in fact, they were ranked 31st in the world out of all the countries, and they were facing number 1 team in the world in the quarterfinals.
Quite the underdogs, eh?
Underdogs, big time. And the spirit of being the host nation and having over 90,000 fans in the stadium really helped them to be their 12th player. And with the game being tied at 1-1, they did go to extra time. And at the extra time, they tied up again. Each scored 1 goal, and it really went to the penalty shootouts. So you see and witness 90,000 fans in the stadium at Luzhniki, and seeing Russia and Spain at the penalty shootouts, where the goalkeeper, Alexander Akinfeev, who got the golden boot and the best player of that match, he was able to save one of the penalty shoots from the Spain, and ultimately gave Russia that victory in the penalty shootouts 5-4. And they progressed to the next stage of the tournament. And the Spain, they were out, which was a shock to everyone. But a big event for all the fans in the stadium and for myself. So that was a highlight of the tournament that was very exciting.
Oh, absolutely. I can just imagine 90,000 people erupting into such joy and surprise, but real joy. So that must have been, that energy again must have been phenomenal. But anyway, Ray, I really want to thank you very much for your time. And
you're welcome.
It's been very, very informative, and great to get to know a little bit more about you as well. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here. And as mentioned before, if you would like to reach out to Ray and help him with his organization in any capacity, contact information will be available. And I thank you for all of your times, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next Lifestyle Toronto. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you, Ray, again.
Good luck. Bye-bye.